And now let's move on to our second keynote speaker. Our next speaker wears many hats, a highly respected physician, author, and now a passionate historian. It is a privilege to welcome Dr. Raja Bhaumik from Hyderabad, sir, whose recent book Journey to India's Freedom.
Jai Hind and Vande Mataram. I am a medical doctor. I am from Hyderabad and I specialize in internal medicine, nephrology, diabetology and critical care. In our line of practice, a very crucial thing is the history of the patient. Until unless आप patient के बारे में detailed आप information नहीं लोगे, including his family history and genetic background, it is very difficult to understand what are the potential complications the patient might be having over a period of time. By delving into this particular aspect, I realized for myself that how many of us really know about the history of modern India? Very few, very few. And that is the reason why we are open, why we are at the receiving end of the wrong propaganda. When our political leaders, they speak ill of people like Mr. Veer Savarkar, the reason why we are not able to counter is because we ourselves don't know the facts. अगर कोई आके बोले हम लोग को कि सावरकर जी ने ऑलरेडी ब्रिटिशर्स से ये उनको एक्सेप्ट किया था कि ये उनका लॉयल सर्वेंट है, तो हम में से कितने को ये मालूम है कि इवन गांधी ऑल्सो डिक्लेयर दैट ही इज अ सर्वेंट ऑफ द ब्रिटिश एम्पायर. ये हम लोग को पता नहीं है और हम लोग पता नहीं भी करना चाहते हैं क्योंकि हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम इसको एनकरेज नहीं करता है. सो देन मैंने सोचा कि देखिए प्रैक्टिस तो बहुत हो गया है, तो देन आई थॉट दैट इट इज टाइम फॉर अस टू गेट acquainted with our own history, because if you do not know history you will not be respected by the world. आप कहीं पे जाए पहले सेंटेंस होता है आपके बारे में, सेकेंड थिंग दैट दे इंक्वायर इज व्हाट इज योर फैमिली बैकग्राउंड. अगर आपका फैमिली बैकग्राउंड या फिर आपका बैकग्राउंड इज नॉट अप टू द मार्क, then you will be dismissed. So therefore, until unless we know the history of our own country, we will not be respected. For example, if you consider the Japanese, they always speak in their own mother tongue. They might be speaking at the UN, but they will always make it a point to speak in Japanese, and that is why we respect them. India में जब तक आपको English पता नहीं है, तब तक people look down upon you. And it is simply because of the fact that you are not proud of your own background. So then I thought that this is that, and like many of my speakers have already spoken of COVID-19. I similarly am of the opinion that COVID-19 was indeed, it might not sound true with many people, COVID-19 was a blessing, because COVID-19 taught us that there are other aspects to life, than your own career, your family, the things that you want to do but you could not do because of lack of time. Because आपको जिंदगी फिर नहीं मिलेगा, there is only one life and make best use of it. And in our professional rigor we forget. Then I decided to write about this book. In this August gathering, how many people know that the Indian flag is not raised at all places on 15th of August of each year? Can people please raise their hand if they know at all? So it is not raised in certain parts of Bengal and Punjab, which on 15th of August was a part of Pakistan. It was only on 18th of August that these areas became a part of India after the Radcliffe Award was announced. So these parts of India, they raise the freedom flag on the 18th of August of each year. Similarly, we all try to dismiss that Nathuram Godse was a Hindu fanatic who killed Gandhi. But how many of us really try to understand why did he kill Gandhi? So all these things are mentioned in my book because it is only an informed mind which can make a judicious decision. you just cannot be, biased because some XYZ politician is telling you ABC, or just in the name of secularism. So it is important for us to know the truth. It is whenever we clap with both hands. We can't clap only with one hand. तो आपको सच्चाई मालूम होना है, और ये अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग को सच्चाई बताया नहीं गया है. दिस इज द मोस्ट अनफॉर्चुनेट पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, कि वी बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ सच एन एडवांस सिविलाइजेशन आर नेवर टोल्ड ऑफ इट. Our history is so glorious. We are not told of it. In our freedom struggle, it appears that we won the freedom only for two people. But how wrong are we in getting to know the fact? It is our right to know किसका कितना contribution था. Now I am working on one of my book. My third book will be on the mysteries of the disappearance of Netaji. We are told that Netaji died on 18th August 1945, which is an absolute falsification of fact. And we have grown up to understand that Netaji died on August 1945. The fact is that Netaji died in September 1985 near Ayodhya. And that is the reason why in the 𝗷𝗵𝗂𝗵𝘂𝗵𝗂 complex, there is a separate block which is being kept only for 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗵𝗂. So all these things, it is our right to know. Unfortunately, our previous administrations or previous dispensations have kept it away from us for reasons best known to them. So in my book, which I have written, it is in 2 volumes across 900 pages. Basically, it is about how the things have unfolded immediately after the first war of independence, including from the time that the Congress party the Congress came into being. I have also written about the revolutionaries, how much of sacrifice they have undergone, whether it be Savarkarji, whether it be the revolutionaries from Punjab like Sardar Ajit Singh ji, or whether it be from Bengal and even from South India. They did not even blink the eye in undertaking the type of sacrifices that today we will all be thinking twice of undertaking. Can you imagine a person at 18 years of age taking a call that no, this is enough, I am ready to even sacrifice my life? For example, Khudiram Bose, Prafullo Chaki, even Savarkarji, when he dived into the English Channel as his ship was approaching the French port of Marseille, the only thing uppermost on his mind was that I should be free enough to ensure that I can actually take forward the freedom movement. And he was an extremist. He even was ready when he came to sacrifice his life for that. So therefore, it is important for us that when we are reading the history of India, we should also read the history of those people who really mattered and for whom today we are walking on this free land. ये नहीं सुन के हम लोग XYZ सुनते हैं, who are, and those people who pass these comments, they are actually not eligible to do so because they themselves are not educated. So it is not correct on my part to take names. But when you listen people talking like that, you really feel as if they should be immediately thrown out of the country. We have had enough. And unfortunately, because of the policies followed by them, in near future, we are going to be ruled by those people who do not even know what India is all about, what our freedom struggle is all about. And हम लोग को नहीं पता, तो हमारे बच्चे क्या सीखेंगे? How will they grow up to respect our nation? How will they grow up to respect the freedom fighters? For most of us today, 26th January and 15th August of every year is only to know whether we are having an extended weekend or not. वो बच्चों के पास वो स्कूल शेड्यूल आता है, अच्छा देखो 26th January whether it is a weekend, 15th August if it is a weekend, immediately the call goes to the tour organizers. I'm not having any disrespect for them, but immediately the call goes out to understand how those 3 or 4 days हम लोग कैसा मस्ती करेंगे. मस्ती करो, लेकिन थोड़ा तो आप इनके बारे में भी सोचो जो कि आपके लिए इतना कुछ करके गए हैं कि यू शुड वॉक ऑन फ्री लैंड. So that was the reason as to why I wrote the book. It was a pleasure in the sense that I got to understand for myself so many things that we were always not aware of or we were not told also. Another thing I want to tell all of you, for example, is about, I have also written about the history of Kashmir, Article 370 and 35A. Every one of us should, not because I have written the book, but every one of us should read history, because that is the place from where everything begins. Like when we treat a patient, we just don't treat a patient because he has fever. We try to understand from where the fever came. Like the other day, I will just give a clinical anecdote. There was a young child. I'm not a pediatrician, so I don't treat children below 18 years of age. So this 22 years old boy, he is studying in a hostel. So he comes to my clinic with fever. So the first opening sentence of it is his parents are telling, ये तो normal fever है. तो मैंने बोला कि आप पहले मेरे को डिफाइन करिए कि फीवर एबनॉर्मल कब होता है, नॉर्मल कब होता है. ठीक है. तो दे ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग. तो सडनली एट द एंड ऑफ इट देयर वाज द यूनानिमिटी दैट फीवर इज एबनॉर्मल. तो फीवर के साथ क्या क्या हो रहा है सब पूछा. तो ऑल टेस्ट दैट वी गॉट इट डन वेर नेगेटिव. देन आई स्टार्टेड आस्किंग ऑफ हिम कि आपके घर में डू यू हैव अ पेट. So then his father told कि हाँ हमारे घर में एक बिल्ली है. So then I started, getting into the scheme of, getting to the basics. So that particular animal, वो बिल्ली जो है, I saw a scratch on his skin. So then I started, asking him in detail. हाँ वो काफ़ी स्क्रैच कर गया था, थोड़ा वहाँ से थोड़ा ब्लीडिंग हुआ था. तो देन इमीडिएटली आई टोल्ड हिज पेरेंट्स दैट दिस इज नॉट एन ऑर्डिनरी इन्फेक्शन, दिस इज एन इन्फेक्शन विच हैज़ कम फ्रॉम द एनिमल. दैट इज दिस वी यूज द टर्म zoonotic disease, just like for example corona is a zoonotic disease. So then we came to know, by that time that young boy had already started developing headache. So then we did a CT scan. CT scan, it was showing a sort of a diamond ring, thing. So then the medical diagnosis was that he was suffering from a complication of the cat scratch disease, which transmits a bacterial infection called Bartonella. So then we started putting him on treatment, and within 4 days he started responding. So what I mean to allude over here by this example is that history is important in more ways than one. Across the spectrum, it can be in medicine, it can be in history, it can be in X, Y, Z. There is no end to the value that history has for us in each and every walk of life. I am thankful to everyone for giving me a patient listening, and we certainly hope to interact in the future. Thanks for the opportunity.